watching the clock, 10,000 hours go by. I keep putting in work, the tears are filling my eyes. I swear I've never been tested like this, but this is mine. It's not a matter of chance, just a matter of time. Never look back. If something standing in my way, I always push back. If something seemed impossible, I never took that. Nah, cause now I know better. Can't stop, won't stop, I won't quit ever. This world is won't take me. The highest fall, it won't break me. The blood and sweat is what made me. I'ma get mine, just a matter of time.
Welcome back everyone to the LCK. My name is Joel and helping you guys with the Dangun and Bitdol session as we are looking at game 1 that just concluded between BBQ Oliver and also with Gen.G. But perfection in itself in terms of performance and how they took the game 1 was more important than the win themselves. And we got to see basically how Gen.G really steamrolled their way through to win that game 1. We're going to look at some of the highlights to further analyze and see what Gen.G did right to get their deserved victory. We're going to start off with how the jungle early trades went off. See the Scuttle Crab already being taken by Trick on the bottom river with the obviously, you know, the Gen.G jungler also Ambition doing his own thing, trying to go right towards his own jungle path. I actually just saw basically a travel path all the way going to just casually through the Raptors in that next phase, and we get to see how it all changed up the interaction. Obviously saw Ruler always having to utilizing that E to make sure that Ruler always knew the vision around the opponent's jungler just to make sure that communication is there. Obviously no jungle around the golem and still hasn't been taken, meaning that nothing really too severe in terms of how it all went about. And really that gave a lot of hint towards Gen.G in the early game, and we'll see how it all went about to interact with that game. And this was basically it. Ambition already coming for that gank, knowing that a counter jungle was basically impossible, having already gained knowledge of that vision. And very nice pillar at the end, and just timely in get the Ignar. And really just we knew after that one, going down with the support, the bot wasn't in a lot of trouble for BBQ altogether. We got to see how it all went about in the further parts of that game, especially through the mid game, that bot lane phase going so well for Gen.G. And that was very important. Obviously, the win that went towards the early game that transpired into the mid game, into the late game, was basically routine for Gen.G. And this was a big team fight right around mid lane. Just a surprising aggressive entrance from Ambition with that pillar and helping out with that shockwave, and Arrow actually missing to just go to Ignar instead, but definitely turned out to be a good thing as they got a 1+1 offer on that one, getting the Tom Kent along with it. And really just a Gen.G knowing the whereabouts, know when to go aggressive, know when they are ahead, really utilizing the advantages that they already received from the early game and transitioning into further advantages in the mid game was what Gen.G did best, and that's what really got them the very nice deserved game 1 victory. And let's look at what the fans had to say. Not much reaction because it was a pretty straightforward game, and people are just kind of now missing the non-traditional ADC meta that we just had about a few weeks ago, but no longer a thing, as slowly we're kind of rewinding back to what we know about what is a bot lane champion, and still we're kind of going back to it. Obviously, really just a really close one that could have been, but BBQ standing no chance on that game 1. They have to work a lot harder to get on that game 2. but we're gonna get the one-line summary. And the weather is really hot. That's the hint being given by Bitdol. LCK Summer is the war, is what he's saying. Is the reason why it's so hot outside. That makes no sense, guys. The outside weather and the fact that LCK Summer is going on has no correlation to each other. So Bitdol is just outrageous right now with the one-line summary. Maybe some improvements later in time. We'll see about that as we get to the next one soon.
Thank you very much, Joel. Yep, that was pretty ridiculous. I also like that one of the fan things was just no with a lot of exclamation marks and question marks. But this ain't a question mark. Ambition playing the early game about as ambitionally as possible. And honestly, I didn't really know who to give the MVP to. I just gave it to Ambition because he managed to gank in the early game.
Well, I gave it to Gen.G for his very sick W taxi Q flash that he pulled off
sexy.
there. That was really nice. That was the best play of this game. And then from there, it was really slow, and eventually Gen.G won.
Yeah, that's basically it. Thank you very much. We don't need to talk over this replay anymore because the rest of it relatively irrelevant.
This was actually BBQ turning quite well at the end. I mean, this next play. This play was Gen.G being turned on. But BBQ had a very nice turn on one of the fights around the same area later in the game, but wasn't to be too big. You know the highlights are boring when we get to see Trick full clear a camp.
Oh, nice.
Like, seriously?
Is this the highlight?
This was the highlight.
Ah, they took a turn. Wow!
This is like...
Really? Really?
All right, well, that was definitely a super play.
Here we go. There's actually people dying now, guys.
I mean, go back to the last clip. That's
pretty much the epitome of
Look at the moves. Look at the camp. Gragas, what was that?
Whoa!
And then he smited. There was no enemy smite here. He waited, actually, quite a long time because he really wanted to smite it.
He did smite it in the end, though. Nice.
And then watch the amazing play that the MVP Trundle made on this part.
Yeah.
Remember how Trundle did the thing where he was in base?
Hey, remember when he
was in base during that replay?
He smoted earlier. And you can see he's pretty bored about it as well. His ambition, we'll see whether he's going to be playing in game number 2. Spoiler, he probably is. As we're looking for champion select. We'll see whether this next game, BBQ, can look like they're a little bit more competition.
I just want a highlight.
Game 1, they did.
I want an MVP highlight that includes a highlight moment.
I mean, it was the first one where he was in the bottom. Like, he
held
his pillow.
That was Alistair.
But he held his pillow.
I want him to be the best person in one of the clips in an interview. But apparently not that time.
Well, I really hope we bring up that Gragas full clearing the camp.
I know!
And then talk to him about it in the MVP interview at the end of the game.
He's the real MVP.
That's what we need. Bring Trick out in the Gen.G interview if they happen to win this game or the next one, as BBQ do have an opportunity to reverse sweep now as Gen.G move over to our blue side, and Azir will be the first ban as we head into Champion Select.
Not so much about the Azir power level, but more that Tempt has shown the most on the Azir. Gen.G on blue side can ban away all the annoying champions, and first pick Orianna seems to be what they're considering here. Dealing with pretty targeted bans, Tempt's Kindred, Trick's Kindred, Tempt's Azir. So far it's very much these guys are good at these picks rather than necessarily overall power level of champions. Sejuani priority no doubt going to be higher after we see Trundle and also the Azir band, and well, with Jace band, the Gnar priority also jumps up as well.
Yeah, Gen.G can just grab that in the first round if they want to, but they left it available after banning its counters in the second round last time, so confusing stuff. This, definitely not. Yes, Sejuani's ultimate stun duration was nerfed a little bit, but who cares about that? Ambition doesn't even like to hit all of them.
That's true. Zoning ultimates have been the way in Korea. Ambition and Score RSVP yes
really
to that.
Good at it, yeah.
BBQ might just take the Tahm Kench and the Varus here if they want it. They're both available, but contesting the Orianna, if you want Ori, it feels like you have to first round it. Zoe is available, could opt into the 1v1 matchup if they want it. Let's wait and see what BBQ make of this. If you look at this season, Tempt is 2-5 on the Zoe, but had some good games recently, so might be feeling it, and a pick comp is looking pretty on the cards.
Yeah, somehow he's managed to get himself a 50% win rate on the Zoe of all time as well. So
it's going to be Ori Tahm Kench here.
Oh, that would make the most sense, unless it's Ori Ashe. Ori Ashe would also be pretty Gen.G. Oh, there we go.
But think of the Tahm Kench!
Look at how Gen.G that is. No, he wants to play Alistair anyway. He doesn't care. Core.JJ's an Alistair main. Oh god, the fact that it's so predictable. Like, I'm not even claiming any profitness, because it was just the most obvious.
There was 3 champions it could be. 2 out of 3 was 100%. And so Well, Tahm Kench goes begging for a while. BBQ, there was no Ezreal ban, by the way. Everyone just ignored it for this game. And then Trick has decided that he wants to once again Proto Belt away around the Rift. I don't think he used Proto Belt in game number 1, so I'm hoping he used it in game number 2.
Yep. Maybe that's what the difference was. If he had it, well, actually it was. That meant that he got caught by a shockwave.
He could have flashed or Proto Belt. He didn't either.
Yeah.
He was really
Or body
conserving
slam.
his cooldown.
He had 3.
I think that was on cooldown.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness.
All right, well,
Camille's
coverage bans for Gnar commence.
Oh, on both sides. Is Gangplank going to be taken away from Crazy yet again?
Will it be Gnar versus Cho'Gath, or will it be something else, I wonder out loud?
Ooh. I don't know. That would be a very riveting top lane matchup. If we
I
got
just
the
want to
Gnar
see
versus
Gen.G play a champion they got a skin for.
Cho'Gath. Well, might be the case, as they're on the blue side this time, and that's where we saw the Gnar picked last time around. BBQ still taking their time on this last ban, and it is going to be the Braum taken away from Core JJ, mostly for the lane. The Freljordian bottom lane does make a lot of sense. Ashe and Braum with a lot of synergy.
Fight's a bit better than the Tahm Kench, and they may be taking Tahm Kench themselves. So
Yeah.
we'll see if BBQ do take that Tahm Kench. Gen.G could consider banning it.
Well, I mean, that does put Gen.G into the position where they're just going to pick Alistar as well as probably Cho'Gath now for Cuvée on the top side of the map, unless Crazy wants to nab that one himself.
Will it
Jace
be one
already banned.
Tahm Kench or Alistar for BBQ? Could also be support Gragas. We should mention that
Hey, that's true. It is
Gragas has had a lot of victories, but Tahm Kench is open, and it's a pick comp on both sides, so we'll be the Tahm Kench. All right, Gen.G, show us Alistar. Ooh, Rakan's up. They have a skin for it.
They do.
Come
Oh, are
on.
they going to pick it though?
Yeah.
Are they actually going to use the skin? Is the real question.
Oh, that's... Wait, surely
you-
yes.
have you
Cuvée
been-
literally had a sellout interview. He's going to play Alistar instead.
Yep, there we go.
Well,
Oh dear.
we were close.
Is it going to be the Cho'Gath now?
It would be very obvious.
That would be a very Gen.G thing to do.
Could also go more aggressive. There's some lane dominant champions open. The Cannon, for example, could be considered.
That's true. Go
See
back
what they want to
comfort.
choose. What are you doing, Cuvée? Is
Kenny.
it Cannon time?
Well, there were 2 options, Papa. And the Cannon is going to be the choice.
And Cho'Gath.
Cho'Gath does make a lot of sense here as well.
Camille banned away.
Come
Would
on.
he consider something crazier?
Do something weird, Crazy. That's what we want.
Wouldn't Cho'Gath be weird?
No. No, Papa.
Well, they have got a lot of poke and siege, and Cho'Gath can be used for many different ways. Also, Crazy wins on Cho'Gath.
Yep. No, it's a good pick. But they're taking a long time to find it.
Hey!
Rumble! Just going to be locked. Oh, God, no. It's the old ever-losing LGD strategy from 2015. The Rumble Varus. The worst, most losing combination of champions.
Rumble's actually going to struggle quite a lot this game. The lane matchup against Cannon isn't the most happy one. It probably is going to be AD Cannon, which will be ever more annoying for the Rumble. AP Cannon very strong against Varus Zoe, so I was wondering what the last pick would be, and if that would actually herald an AP Cannon. Still a chance we will.
Long-range pick and catch potential, though, absolutely fantastic,
Yeah.
with the Equalizer being able to come down on top of a trouble-bubbled target or someone hit by a Chains of Corruption, something like that.
Not
BBQ
sure.
pricing into pick very, very hard, but
Not sure about the Rumble.
yeah, he may just get dumpstered in lane. So, odd, but we'll see what happens. Certainly, throwing a spanner in the works, and it's not Cho'Gath, makes me happy, but not sure whether it's going to make BBQ fans happy, given what it's going to be going up against in Cuvé's Cannon.
They are very, very strong at one item across 3 champions. Zoe with Ludens, bot lane, whatever the Varus decides. Maybe going to be Lethality once more, and Rumble's first item is always going to be his most consequential. Morellonomicon, a pretty common pick, so if they fight around Drake at one item, you're certainly going to feel good about the Rumble, but
Yep.
you feel like the side lane as the game goes on could be very, very poor. If it's AP, maybe there's a chance. If it's AD, it's going to be painful.
It certainly is, but does mean that the team fights coming in from Gen.G not going to be as fearsome if it's going to be that AD Cannon, but Cuvée, he likes to build the AD Cannon anyway. He seems to be able to team fight on the pick as well, or just mow through your turrets. Gen.G basically have the same comp as Game 1. Can they execute in the same way is the question. BBQ Olivers, can they fight back? Let's find out.
협곡에 오신 것을
All right, BBQ fans a little bit louder here for this cheer, knowing that desperation is in the air, staring down the barrel of a 0-2.
If they were to lose 0-2, they're, I believe, mathematically not relegated, but close to mathematically
Basically
relegated.
mathematically
Effectively,
relegated.
certainly they are relegated,
Yeah.
but mathematically not. I believe they are impossible to reach 5 match wins. Right now we have Gen.G and both Gen.G and MVP at 4. So there's a lot of scenarios where they will be relegated. I think they understand that predicament, so they need to come back with a win here to BBQ. They have a draft that can work at one item very well, but you feel like from 2 items, and honestly from a Wits End onwards, the Cannon can run the 1v1 against the Rumble. So we're going to have to see some impressive teamfight equalizers because the fallback laning going to be painful.
Yep, and what I was alluding to before was the old God v Marin combination of the mid lane Varus, which was definitely unable to find victories when it was Marin's Rumble as well on the top side of the map, and they just couldn't win with it at all.
Doing very well in his new vocation.
Yeah.
Jumping over with Aluka to
4 a.m.
Yep.
The Chinese PUBG team. Yeah, doing well.
Good old Summoner confirmed fighting arena.
Yeah, I was going to let you use that one because I actually couldn't remember what
You're just shouting out competitors, man. You can do whatever you want. Speaking of doing whatever he wants, Ruler has heal, walks up past the minion wave, and auto attacks Ghost. Ignar finds time to get a taunt.
Yeah. Just going to be laning things out. It's exactly the same lane as last time around. Mid lane going to be a little bit different, top lane also a little bit different, but not on the side of Gen.G.
Do you know if they let Aluka drive the cars? He was the Drift King on Zion.
He was the Drift King.
I think he could drift in Summoner confirmed fighting arena as well.
I think he could. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't been following the Chinese scene super closely. I know that Godby plays pretty balls to the wall, which is extremely Godby. He's the same player. He's just playing a different game.
I was having a chat about Godby because there's definitely an argument for 2015 domestic competition that he was a top 3 mid laner in the world.
Yeah, he was.
Obviously, the moment he went international, things fell off very quickly, but Godby certainly had quite a 2015 regular season.
Had some of the best Orianna play I've ever seen as well. His Orianna was legendary. Now we're back in an Orianna meta. Maybe he'll come back to League of Legends.
But most of our fans either weren't watching in 2015, and if they were, they weren't watching LPL in 2015,
Yeah.
so they just remember him being bad, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and the memes were pretty good, the old Gold 5.
What about Plat Evil? He had so many great memes.
Yeah, it's probably the best. Anyway, that is a bygone era now. Here we have Gen.G versus BBQ. BBQ in a bit of a rough position. And this lane is where that roughness is going to start.
With a gank, things can happen. And again, outside a lane, Rumble can make things happen. But yes, it does feel like once the items are built, they will help Rumble in team fights, and they will help Kennen in lane. And that's going to be a problem. It is on-hit Kennen to confirm. Press the attack is the spoiler in the top left of your screen. Hopefully Crazy's happy with his rune choices this time. Has gone Domination second. This is a Marin choice on the Rumble. I believe Smev does it as well. You'd think Resolve Tree, but most of these Rumbles have been preferring the Domination second and trying to go for a little bit more aggression. And if you're going to take Rumble top into Kennen, you do need some jungle help, and here comes Gragas.
Well, I think that he made it into the second brush there as Ward's getting pinged out. Cuvée trying to indicate there is vision available, and there most certainly is for BBQ on the top side. Scrap shield there for Crazy, meaning that that trade was real nice. So Cuvée just going to go through his potion, continue building towards some lane dominance. We'll see whether it's going to be Wits End to come out first.
It seems really valuable in this game, given how much magic damage there is on the side of BBQ.
Yeah.
Even the Varus is going to be doing a decent amount, despite going a lethality build, so getting huge value there. The only way to stop that is to win the bot lane, teleport out, and just shadow the Kennen the entire game, and that becomes pretty unviable with TP becoming an even longer cooldown on patch 8.14, so I do expect this Cuvée to index into the Wits End, and Crazy will say, set up a teleport ward, I'm coming in.
Well, there's a bunch of pings down into the river here as Ignar's just going to lick a ruler for the moment. BBQ with this wave pushing out might give them some control. As you can see, Trick already down trying to capitalize, but Ambition here cleaning out vision. And, not sure whether Tempt can bully him out. Just going to pop the passive for the moment.
BBQ comp, very much about fighting at one item, like we've said a couple of times, but Siege also, Zoe Varus.
Ever pulped, Valor, easy.
getting too excited. There's a tell much next to him.
Yeah. I know, I still got to yell about it.
That's true.
But sometimes you just priced in.
When the ultimate's there, maybe you think we'll be able to make something happen. But Lethality Varus Zoe is pretty much 2 paddle stars, right? Lethality Varus does insane damage as the game scales along. There is the confirmation of your Wit's End, as QV has already rushed into the Negatron Cloak. But there is a huge siege amount, but you need vision control and also some early gold to hit your siege items on time. If those 1 items are late, or if they lose map control, and right now, definitely Gen.G owning the bot lane and bot side map control, and the siege may never happen. Tempt is altered.
Yeah, there's a shockwave right in there as Ambition holds onto the flash. Winter's Wrath is going to land. Oh, not quite enough. One more command attack would have been there, but there's no mana available, and now Ambition down to 200 health. Tempt is going to have to go out, and that's 2 summoners burnt in favor of absolutely nothing invested by Gen.G apart from a health bar from a Sejuani.
I think Fly and Ambition did more damage than they realized. If they had flash, they could have got the kill. They were 1 auto away from Tempt dying. It was late on the flash, tried to just get away. The cleanse was too early as well, but Tempt does live after all. Double summoners down. This is going to be the most comfortable laning phase ever for Fly, who loves this matchup. 2 games on Orianna, 2 victories against the Zoe.
Yep. Feeling all too easy as Ambition. He's going to turn up on the top side of the map as QV is going to flash under his own turret. As you can see, the fadeaway ultimate is all too easy in First Blood. Delivered on a silver platter to QV on the top side.
Crazy's been caught in some poor laning spots multiple times now. He's behind the cannon, who I imagine was camping the brush on the top side. Good ult from Ambition confirms the kill. The Negatron means there was never going to be a turnaround kill, and, well, he's got magic resist for lane, and Crazy slowly building a Merlinomicon ain't going to help.
I don't know, man. I feel like Crazy was in exactly the right position. We've seen the best Rumbles in the world be exactly there. I'm talking Smeb, I'm talking Marin. If you're underneath the enemy turret, you're doing it right. So Crazy, shout out to him. I think that was fantastic Rumble play. Unfortunately, it's not going to win you a game.
I'd like to point out that Marin would overextend and die on Rumble almost every game, but it was in service of FLICKR and Bang winning lanes. If your other lanes are losing their summoners and
Don't
you die...
mean it was in service of Godby and Imp
all
winning
I'm
their
saying
lanes?
Is, if you play Rumble, overextend, and die at level 4 and your team doesn't get anything, you're not being Marin, you're just being bad.
You're just inting.
Yes.
But Marin did look like he was inting a lot of the time.
Yes, but tactical inting is different to tactical just dying.
Yeah, just inting. It's just tactical rather than not very tactical.
It's all about the tactics, Atlas.
Yep, and if your
We're
tactics
professional video games over here.
And now we're going to have to explain every play as to whether or not it was tactical. As here we've got a tactical top lane gank onto Fly. He's going to get burnt down as Temp finds a paddle star. Flash has to be invested.
Okay.
As that's a huge headbutt pull from CoreJJ. He's only level 5 though. Unbreakable Will isn't there as Ambition. He's going to turn up, gets a flash out of Igna. It was just like he was frightened. Don't think he necessarily needed to do it. And a lot happened, and I don't know whether a lot of it was tactical, Pub Smithy.
I gotta say, CoreJJ holding onto his flash there was outrageous with the 3-man pulverize. He's able to get away, ends up having to use the stopwatch in the end. Not sure about the flashes coming through at the end. There's some old man mechanics there from Ambition.
Some weird stuff, yep.
Everyone gets away. Summoners down in multiple lanes. That means that Ambition and Trick have things to return to. Ultimate down for Trick, but up for Ambition.
Okay, now what does BBQ do to try and put their foot down here onto this map? Gen.G, they've already done their work, top side of the map working out. The Cannon matchup into the Rumble was certainly one that we were expecting to be good for the Cannon, but at the moment, he's not necessarily dominating. It's going to be Ambition throwing himself towards the bottom side, but not actually deciding to commit to any sort of gank. BBQ with much better vision this time around. Seems like the coaches have had a chat to BBQ and said, this is what you did wrong, fix it. And they've got 3 control wards lining the river, exactly what you want as a BBQ fan.
And Sejuani is just going to keep going bot lane. There's no reason to go top again because QV is going to straight up win going Wit's End. So they don't need to jungle top side. Sejuani is going to do the bot side jungle of, okay, Ignas flashes down. I'll try and kill him. If not, roll through and do my zoning the enemy off the turret. Allow the Ashe get turret damage in. If Ashe and Alistar get out of lane with first brick, that first turret blood bot side, they can just open up 3 turrets so easily, given they already have lane priority in top, and they're doing very well in mid lane as well. But here comes BBQ trying to make a play happen.
Yep, Abyssal Voyage, they're trying to grab Fly. Oh, he does have the ultimate. The shockwave's real nice. And they've been spending so much time under this turret. Tempt trying to get under there as well. Oh, the dissonance to get the slows. Oh, he misses the paddle star. Fly with the sickest outplay and ambition for the perfect punishment.
Don't let this man on the dance floor. He's all over the place, getting away there. Beautifully done by Fly. Tempt takes a sip of his corn silk tea. He knows he's been outplayed at that moment. Gen.G up 2-0. Nice moment from Fly.
You can see exactly why Fly is so happy in this matchup as well. Just knew where Tempt was going to go. It was inside his head. The download was complete. And just has to invest his cleanse. Equalizer just going to tag Cuvée for the moment, but I probably wouldn't take this trade if I were you, Crazy, as you are certainly activating your namesake here in this top side as he just flashes out of the way of his own engage.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't win those trades. Crazy, they're going to get way worse when that Wit's End is done. They see that play at the top, and they're going to walk down, pick up the Drake, the Infernal, the bonus after the outplay by Orianna in mid lane. This game is actually more ahead for Gen.G than the 1,400 or so gold illustrates. Doing well in every single lane. Very nice cherry on top by Fly, though. One of the coolest players we've seen in a little while.
Yeah, it was really nice. So certainly earning their keep this time around, not Gen.G making some falterings that could have been turned by BBQ, just being better players here, controlling the map a lot better. It's incredibly Gen.G series of League of Legends so far, and I wouldn't recommend any other team opt into it because they're so good when they're comfortable, and you really got to mix things up if you want to take them down.
Well, this lane sucks now. Crazy?
Yeah. Oh god, Wit's End almost has his Berserker's Grid there as well, as you can see, yeah, Crazy's just going to have a really, really crap time.
Yeah, nothing you can build to turn it around. None of the items fit into a Rumble build path. So already we're at please let me out or please gank my lane territory.
Do you think this is going to be Leandri's or does he build a Rylai's or something?
To be clear,
like
for all the solo queue junglers at home, if you read this particular situation as Trick, don't go top lane. It's not going to work out.
Yep.
Gank a strong lane. One with hard CC.
Okay, Tempt's going to get a bit of a poke onto Ambition. That's good news. This ain't. Can we just stop? I think there needs to be a bit of a warning on observing this top wave because Crazy's just going to get bodied over and over again.
I know he's calling for a gank. I know it's annoying, but find somewhere else for good things to happen. Crazy can pack up and join you with his teleport.
You just mute him and then play the rest of the game, Papa. That's what you got to do. Is the ultimate's going to fly in. Tempt with a really nice cleanse. Gets out of the way of the shockwave potentially, but not that one, as now Clockwork Windup is working. Body Slam comes in from Trick, throws down a nice two-man cast, because now Abyssal Voyage should finally be able to get Fly, but no, not going to be enough. Movement speed from the Dissonance, has the Command Protect there as well, gets himself back into safety, doesn't have the ult now, and Tempt is going to survive. So a close battle there in the mid lane.
Shoots his Super Soaker, says it's hot, have some water.
Yeah, and he's probably, Fly wishes that he had have caught that particular one.
Tempt's the real life stay hydrated block. Thank you very much, Tempt, for the little water there. Necessary in this 39 degrees Celsius heat in Korea. But the heat's getting to Tempt a little bit in some of these trades. We're seeing more and more why Fly loves the Orianna into Zoe. Of course, if you put the portal jump forwards, the shockwave is very easy to hit. You can start the cast animation because it's a fixed travel time for the Zoe back to the same spot. Take him down. Doesn't go down for a kill, but it's another good trade coming through from Fly, and the Ludens is on the way. We already mentioned that Crazy is really boned in the top.
Yeah, I don't know why we keep looking at this, because it's just getting real sad. If you're a BBQ fan, hasn't been back to buy anything yet either. And, should be able to clear out minions under the turret. Not going to be diving in this Cuvée, but
not yet.
Gen.G should be able to take down Shelly, and yeah, the not yet is worrying.
I mean, if you get enough points in Lightning Rush, you just pop out with 40% attack speed and just kill him.
Yeah, and a few
round of autos. So yeah, it's troubling times for Crazy as Flash is down for another minute and a half or so. We're watching the Rift Herald go down. There's going to be a lot of free objectives this game, as unless BBQ send 5 members, they are going to find it hard to fight. Crazy just drop the Equalizer to wave clear and get him closer and closer to what looks like it's going to be a Leandri's this time, not the Merlinomicon we commonly see. There's not that much healing on the side of Gen.G, and, well, if they chill on the Equalizer for a while, who's to say there can't be a one-team fight for BBQ?
Well, and we're also thinking about an Abyssal Voyage with a couple of fat people to move down towards the bottom side. CoreJJ might actually be in trouble as he's roaming the river. we're still watching this matchup as QV is just looking to try and take down the turret. Should be able to do so in a matter of minutes.
And the observers just see them being close and hitting each other, so that's why they show them. But,
we're on directed camera. The observers are actually asleep, Papa Smithy. It's a Gen.G game where they're in control in the early game, so directed camera is going to be enough. Have a bit of a nap.
Well, I mean, our observers have been pretty ruthless recently. Remember all the times they've shown turret HP and things like that?
Hey, that's true.
So I think they're just lulling us into a false sense of security. Soon they're going to show us their sick observing skills. Nothing skillful about showing crazy just die instantly to auto attacks. That's why I always hated on-hit cannon. At least AP cannon is flashy and you're hitting shuriken skill shots.
Yeah,
On-hit cannon is just, I'm ranged auto attacking you and you're probably melee.
It's just boop, 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 zap, boop, 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 zap. That's it's basically how it works. It's
One more time, how many boops?
Boop, 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 zap. Oh, I think it's boop, 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 zap, but never mind. It feels like not as many boops as it actually is before the zap. As he's underneath the turret and might actually get booped himself. Four members should be able to take him down. They do so, but they're going to lose their mid-outer turret, and they're also having to deal with Shelly, who could actually take an inhibitor turret, as it's 4 versus 1.
They're going to keep pushing here.
Oh, yeah. Shelly might actually get 3 charges here at 16 minutes into the game.
This would be a true Geraldine moment.
Yeah. This is not one of those times where you take the trade, guys. It's bad news. Inside of BBQ, that's the triple charge. Remember, you don't get reduced damage if it's the third one. It's still the same reduced damage as the second one. Half the health bar on the inhibitor turret in the mid lane. Thankfully for BBQ, that will be regenning, and it's not likely that Gen.G will be back to that mid lane outer turret all that quickly.
They would desperately love to get QV's teleport down and hope to find a way to avoid the Rumble matchup. But seeming unlikely to happen. To say it was a down-tempo trade would be understating how much Gen.G were able to pick up in the mid lane through pushing through. We see the QSS coming through from Ruler. He doesn't have a Tahm Kench, but he does have his core item. Touching the power level of everyone else on his team is probably a good read. Gen.G taking over the map, 2 of the easy objectives down. The third one of the bot lane turret will be the next port of call for Gen.G.
Yeah, Gen.G with the most ridiculous amount of map control as well, being able to take inner turret in the mid lane is always huge. We talk about it all the time. Ghost going to move up towards top side of the map, and Ruler and Core JJ down towards the bottom. Gen.G also going to be able to grab their second Drake of the game. It's all another day in the office. Yes, a kill went over to BBQ, but QV's not going to be too hurt about that one. He just goes back, completes his Berserker's Greaves. He's also got another recurve bow, a lot of on-hit damage now available for the on-hit cannon. That feels good.
He takes the blue buff because his team is playing bot side and they're going to lose his turret, but...
Yeah, Ghost trying to look for it. They look for another one, but the flash is now used from QV. Understands that he will need to use it to survive. Core JJ is going to turn up and the inner turret is not going to go down. And outer turret in the bottom lane is. So Gen.G trading up yet again. But QV does really need to start respecting this poke. Remember, this Lethality Varus does a lot of damage if he hits those Qs.
Especially on someone who has gone for no armor or lifesteal in the build just yet.
Yeah, a little bit available with the Doran's Blades, but basically nothing.
Gen.G can just repel on this side. The Rumble doesn't really have a winning lane. Whatever lane assignment, short of, for some reason, solo Alistair, he's going to be struggling in, so... But now, at least, the Rumble hits a side wave. We'll see what Gen.G want to do next. Baron control is a possibility. They don't have the safest Baron, but Sejuani has enough gold already to be pretty tanky.
They also have a very, very low top outer turret. They can just head up there, clear that one out, and then look at how much pressure they will have because the map is so incredibly open towards that Baron. Gen.G will be able to get the deepest vision and the safest vision very easily and block out BBQ at almost all turns, especially considering the fact that Fly almost has the instant wave clear available on this Orianna. Core JJ uses the ultimate very early here as he got caught out of position clearing vision.
A lot of pick CC and obviously the ability to pop the drowsy effect on the trouble bubble is why he used it. Not going to have to return to it. We all know that Gen.G are going to play a solid rotational game. Take this last outer turret. Was baited by the 3 turrets. Of course, 2 in the mid lane is the way they've already had 3.
Yep.
They could kill Crazy on the way if they wanted.
Equalizer going to come in, but it's not going to save the turret, as he will at least be able to get all of the minions, but don't really care about the backdoor bonus as they clear out this minion wave as well. Gen.G well and truly on their way to a 4,000 gold lead with immense amounts of control, even more than in game number 1. That felt like they were never going to lose the game.
Does feel like this is the 99.1% likelihood of Gen.G winning this series 2-0. It may seem high, but BBQ would have to get some really chance picks, really find a way to win this game, because
and
in the
go
1v...
against how they've been playing this game today as well. I mean, they just did not give us a lot of confidence in their Game 1 performance, because even when thrown opportunities, they weren't capitalizing.
They also don't have a 1v1 side lane, and the Kennen can just win the game if he's left next to Rumble for long enough, so that's kind of the issue you have is they don't even have a skill matchup or a 60-40 matchup. It's a 90-10 matchup for the on-hit Kennen. So Rumble needs to get the team fights going, which already seem to be Gen.G favored, and they have a gold lead this early in the game, a very safe comp that can disengage as well. So it does feel like Gen.G are just all about dotting the I's and crossing the T's, even though we're only 20 minutes in, and most games are still pretty competitive at this moment.
Yeah. And this one doesn't necessarily look like it's over either, you have to remember, but it's just given all of the extra information that we have available to us, it does feel a little bit closer to that than it should be. Ignat able to lock down a cannon creep, so that's good news. Temp 0-1-0 hasn't had the Zoe performance that he wants so far today.
Ghost does a lot of damage. Once again, has skipped over the man immune and gone for the most power right now.
Did just pick that one up as well, so if you want to talk about item spikes with BBQ, this is certainly an opportunity for them. Does do a lot of damage to Cuvée as well if you can get there, as Ambition clearing out Vision, but look, he doesn't do a lot of damage to the Sejuani at this point in the game.
Also was E, which is not maxing in this build.
True.
Sejuani also has, of course, the passive to have extra armor.
I believe it's Q into W for this this particular build as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most Q damage, because the W also has the active now to make your Q even stronger.
Used to be, of course, with lethality that you will max the Rain of Arrows second after it was nerfed initially. When lethality Varus was first a thing, it was actually armor penetration Varus, and you would max the E because it was so much damage. It's crazy damage.
It's basically armor penetration Varus now because of the total armor penetration, but that's a nice equalizer.
Yeah, good equalizer positioning, but CoreJJ's happy to tank it and fly. Look at where this ball can be over the wall. Arrow used just to disengage, but Ambition hand-delivered, and the Chains of Corruption are going to miss. Gen.G able to disengage very nicely and even able to get some damage back as Fly looking for the Dream Shockwave, but holds onto it. A lot of patience here from Gen.G, as Cuvée wasn't even there. He's looking to just continue split pushing here on the bottom side of the map.
Of course, Crazy has to leave lane to try to find relevance in the game. That's when Kennen didn't have the mini-wave pushed up, so the timing was good from both Crazy and BBQ. Unfortunately, only 2 members there. The Alistar ultimate can shrug off the damage coming through from the Rumble. Gen.G reset. If you're further ahead in this game, if BBQ had the gold lead, Gen.G did, maybe there were kills to be found there. But as the game status currently stands, unable to find any real inroads onto Gen.G.
Buys BBQ a lot of time around this Baron, though, because they managed to get the flash out of Ruler, and he doesn't have a Tahm Kench. He's not like Ghost this game. He's not going to be as safe. So the Ashe does need to pay respect now for the next few minutes, not to mention Ambition losing his flash as well. So BBQ now with some respite around this map, and can they actually capitalize is the question. Some standing gold, as our observer is letting us know.
They just can't get to it, unfortunately. They can't send Varus bot lane anymore. He has the teleport, so you can understand why they might consider, but they need his wave clear around the Baron so they just don't lose the Vision battle very significantly. Rumble will never be able to push in Cannon, and is already on the roam again because his ult's back up, and Crazy's fishing for another big play.
Yep. Trying to get there. You see Ruler standing with no flash here in the mid lane. Very tempting here for Crazy.
All right, Trick has the Proto Belt. Will we see him use it this game?
Ooh.
He's been loving this AP Gragas 2 games in a row.
I like this minigame that you've provided us with as well, Pup Smithy, when we could have a lull. Ambition pressing very far forward here, but given the fact that they do have a lot of control, Cuvée also going to be able to steal away this blue buff very easily. Crazy not even going to try and contest that one, not necessarily the greatest buff for the Rumble anyway, as Trouble Bubble going to land once again, but that Paddle Star only grazing the behind of the Pajamas on our Mukau. Okay, Trouble Bubble going to miss. Ultimate going to miss as well from Ambition, but remember that was nerfed, so it's not really that much of a big deal, as Dragon going to go over to Cuvée as well.
Got the flash out of the Varus, so now Varus going to have to be much safer with the positioning.
Trick takes half his health bar. Protobelt does come in, but the Shockwave is just going to explode him. 100% of the damage done basically by Fly there, and he solos him. No assists given. No mundos either, as Gen.G just take down the jungler. Are they just going to head over to the Baron is the question, or just keep on the split push pressure?
Look, we saw the Proto Belt, so one of our win conditions here has been achieved. Well done, Trick. You did Proto Belt. Unfortunately, like you mentioned, Fire's been free farming, he's in a very good item spot, and with the enemy jungler dead, Baron's looking pretty tasty. Can Rumble get in here and influence this for now? Waiting for that teleport.
CoreJJ with a pretty sexy loop to be used here as there's the headbutt, the flash pole onto all three members of BBQ, the teleport, and the instant flash from Cube slicing Maelstrom, looking like it's from an AP cannon here as Cube slices up the Varus. And BBQ, they lose basically the rest of the team as Trick was coming back from base. Tempting Crazy, nothing they can do now, and the Baron will now go over to Gen.G.
CoreJJ's Alistar looking to go 4-0 in the last 4 games. He's undefeated on the Alistar. Really nice engage in game 1, now in game 2 as well. They can't spot the Baron. They don't know what health it's at. We see the turn though. Gen.G pulled away. They're trying to be respectful around the Baron.
Yep, and they are going to be, as 6,000 gold is the lead. They've got a bunch more money to spend as well, so they're going to go back. Runan's Hurricane picked up from Ruler is very important. As let's have a look at this again.
This is the CoreJJ moment right here. Another headbutt. Gets everyone together. Flash pole. Cube comes in. He's not AP cannon. You don't notice it because he does so much damage already. Level 16 is Cube. Nicely done. Good job, CoreJJ.
Yeah, that was a definite CoreJJ. Pulverize onto 3. Setting up the team fights all so easily. And it's feeling like another one of those Gen.G games that's so clean, so clear, know exactly how it's going to run, but BBQ, even though they've got the playbook in their hands, they know exactly what Gen.G is going to do, there's nothing they can do about it.
You could have called them GG, by the way. Gen.G.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yep, BBQ really want this to be a siege game. They don't have enough towers to make it one. They could look for a pick on Ruler. He's a bit perilous.
It's true, almost has flash available, but not quite.
There's people looming on both sides of the fight. I believe Gragas unspotted. I'm ready for another Proto Belt Trick. Please bring it.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. It's off cooldown, man. Come on, let's go. But Cube, he's just moving down towards the bottom side of the map. Doesn't have flash
Trick
available
really
anymore.
wants a big play.
Yeah. Well, he can body slam Proto Belt. Wait, it's body slam alt Proto Belt. That's what it is. That's the dream. Equalizer's going to be thrown down on top of Ruler, and he's a bit in no man's land, but thankfully has the volley to keep everyone out of the way, and there was no Gragas because he was lying in wait. Bit of a Sowan type situation here with the Gragas in the Raptor pit.
A Songwan, no less, as well. Songwan does love the hide and bush strategies. More than SKT, unfortunately. But
that's
Gen.G going to push through the mid lane. Wait for them to hit the side lane. My question is, if Ginsu Rage is up on cannon, how many autos does it take to kill Rumble? Because he does have 3 items. This cannon is monstrously powerful.
He is. And
maybe
also
4 autos?
Thankfully, the Nomicron's there now that the lifesteal's been picked up by the cannon, so that's the dream build timing. But I think it's about, if he's got the whole Ginsu's Rage, like you talked about, then I think it's about 5. I think he's dead in 5.
Yeah. He's got some armor now, so maybe it's 5.5.
Look, it's bad. It's a bad news story.
It was a questionable last pick Rumble. In a season where we've had a lot of questionable 5th pick red side drafts in multiple roles, this one is top 10.
Well, the Varus looking for a gank onto Cube, but Lightning Rush is going to be there, and Cube is going to get himself out of the way. I feel like you need to gank him after he hasn't been auto-attacking anyone, as Ruler's been playing very aggressive in his positioning, but honestly, BBQ have not been punishing anyone at all ever, so he may as well play as far up as he wants. Has a lot of extra movement speed now, given double cloud. Will be triple if they can get this next one that's coming up in about a minute and a half.
Trick wants to get in on some of these auto attacks. He's got his Seeker's Arm Guard on the way to Zonia's.
Oh, yeah.
I believe we have a 0% win rate for AP Gragas. Spirit plated as well.
Yep. And Trick in game 1 certainly didn't find a victory. He's building it like he's playing Jungle Echo.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too. With an old Runic Echoes, you know, because you want the Sheen proc.
Still does a lot of damage.
Arrow's going to land on a
Hey!
Instant cleanse and a really nice flash to get out of the headbutt. A lot of damage going down onto Ambition. These piercing arrows doing some work as Cube looming in the backline. The Devour on cooldown now, but Trick is able to get himself out of the way. They really want to take down Ignar, but that's a brilliant equalizer to get rid of Cube. Shockwave onto 3. Good God, the damage out from Fly. You gotta respect the ball, and that brings it all back into Gen.G's favor.
It was a disco ball. BBQ thought they were dancing, but unfortunately, they were murdered where they stand. Thought it was going to be a 1-for-0. It was a great equalizer. But the follow-up kills important for Gen.G. They are still way ahead in this game.
It was just such beautiful timing from Fly because he just hadn't moved the ball. He was moving away. It was right on the cusp of snapping back to him. Oh man, I was ready to call it over. I was ready to call it a 1-fight for BBQ, but 2-for-1 trade in the end, and Gen.G walk away with a bit of a steal there on the team fight.
Death cap is done for the Orianna. This is a very big point of power. When it comes to the Baron take, they have Sejuani and also the Kennen to turn off this objective. And CoreJJ has already been on this roaming business so far this game. How can BBQ stop this Baron going down? That's Gen.G's way to close this game out at this point in time.
Yep, not a lot of vision availability here for BBQ as well, as Gen.G know exactly where BBQ have been allowed to go so far this game. Clearing out the vision in the mid lane. They got a little bit moving towards the pit, but none in the pit itself.
Equalizer, definitely the dominant reason for huge damage from the Orianna. QV cleaning up the Cloud Drake very quickly. That will spawn the Elder in just around 36 minutes.
Also give them one hell of a lot of movement speed as well on the side of Gen.G, which is great for the composition that they have as well, given Ash's ability to kite and Kennen's ability to get himself into a position for a slicing Maelstrom. There's an ultimate flying through, but at least Ambition lands his onto Ignar. No follow-up, though, available as the Trouble Bubble lands onto Fly. Okay, that was odd. A lot of buttons were pressed, but not a lot of action actually ensued afterwards.
QV is ready to press the attack, but he's only on a solo mission on the bot lane here. Needed some disarray in the mid lane to actually get those turret autos off, but Gen.G falling back to the Baron.
Yep. A lot of pings down on this one as well as QV. He's drawn a lot of attention, and Gen.G just get the positional advantage. More vision available here from BBQ, and they don't necessarily have the most Baron damage.
CoreJJ trying to interrupt.
QV going to make his way forward as well as, okay, CoreJJ, can you do it yet again? The 4-man pole, not going to be available, but does get a couple in the back line, and it does give the opportunity for Gen.G to take down this Baron. Can they keep themselves alive, though? It's a good equalizer, and the cow, after buying so much time, eventually falls. QV's going to take an inhibitor as well in the meantime, because there's Baron now available on the minions heading towards there, and BBQ stretched too thin.
If the health bars were any higher from Gen.G, you go back in, you interrupt, and you get a Nexus turret or two as well onto QV, but they back away, they got the inhibitor, they got the Baron, they got everything. To Gen.G, they back away. We see here OGN letting us know about the 3-stack buff. Out of combat, it's 18%. That means the Kennen with Lightning Rush moving really fast.
Yeah, moving real fast, but that 6% in combat is actually a huge deal now that it's stacked up to 3. You're able to really kite people more easily. It becomes a pretty ridiculous buff. Even after 2 Cloud Drakes is where it starts to get nice. But Mercurial Scimitar done for QV. He's even more safe as Arrow is once again going to find the goalposts. But that ultimate from Ambition, the follow-up again is good onto Ghost. Oh, Shockwave not going to be there as Ignar going to eat Ghost in the sky.
He would definitely have died from that much health from one rotation from the Ori. Fortunate that one didn't catch him midair. Nicely played on the disengage by BBQ, but here comes Gen.G. They know the Shockwave and the Arrow are down. Can they do anything to punish? Your thought is no.
Well, not against QV here on the top side. Look at how much he rips through these turrets. Ambition going to get booped back under the turret, but look at this. He's able to just maneuver himself back out to safety, and Ruler in the meantime just takes down the structures. He's right on top of this inhibitor, and QV, he's done with his. All too easily, Gen.G mop up all the inhibs on this map. It's just looking so easy for Gen.G today. And this is exactly how the meme is supposed to play out, with KT Rolster just clean League of Legends to come out from Gen.G.
QV.
The 2-0's all too easy.
How many can he take?
I don't know. Then it looks like he's not going to be dying anytime soon. The Ginsu's Rage stacked up. Huge 3-man pole, but who cares? The Nexus is going to get evaporated by Ruler. Oh, man. Gen.G looking unstoppable, and BBQ looking like they had no answers to anything at all ever.
Definitely slow and steady, wins the race over the course of this series. Thought CoreJJ was wonderful in that second game and just had a great series on Alistar. It's a pick that he hasn't really defaulted to this season.
Yeah.
Played it as a takeaway against Griffin and now playing it in this series as well. Takeaway from Ignar, one of his old favorites. Important win for Gen.G, and with the 2-0, they will move to second place because they own the head-to-head against Kingzone Dragon X. That is important. They want to skip as many best-of-5s as possible. There's still a lot of League of Legends to be played, but every 2-0 is worth double merit points, given how close the teams are at the top of the table.
Yeah, and KT, if they're able to win their next game as well, there's a lot of 11s at the top of the standings as well, as Griffin, Kingzone, Gen.G, and KT will all be at that 11-win mark. And if that happens as well, guys, KT will be in first place. That is the world that we live in. It's a crazy one, but crazy on your screen right there, certainly not looking like he enjoys it very much. The Rumble was a little bit wanting that game, but honestly, BBQ rolled over and died against Gen.G.
Unfortunately, BBQ aren't good enough to pull off a last pick teamfight jungler in a game like that. When you're losing the split push matchup that hard as Cannon versus Rumble goes, you need to be really confident you're going to get your team fights. We saw a similar choice yesterday with the Ornn into Gangplank. That missed its timings and lost. This one felt inevitable. BBQ Olivers fall 2-0. They are basically ironed in for the relegation tournament to be played right after. Around the end of September, you would imagine, has to be after the Grand Final, after the Worlds qualifiers, so very much going to be second half of September. But BBQ Olivers fighting for their life in the LCK. Gen.G, they're fighting for first place in the regular season. I wouldn't say they control their own destiny because of some game score issues. But for now, they're going to be in second. Griffin, KT Rolster potentially could stumble, and Gen.G and Kingzone are there to pounce.
Yeah, they can pick it up. They've only got a couple more games available to them. KT with 3 still coming up. Everybody else with only 2, I believe. We're going to have a look at all of the damage that Cannon was able to do. And I have a feeling that it's not about the damage this time around. It's about who was able to gatekeep, who was able to keep people out of the fights, and that was all about CoreJJ. The man that is spamming the most ridiculous number of Alistair games in solo queue recently, it's been absurd.
Give it CoreJG is what I want to see this game. Lethality Varus did its usual big DPM, but low results in this particular series. Not a big fan of going for no mana immune unless you're in the mid lane and you can get the blue buff, so unsure about that one as well. They would have run out of mana with Zoe and Varus looking for the siege without some Ocean Drakes to help out. Will we give it to CoreJG? Come on, OGN. I believe in you.
I hope so, but we'll see.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fly. Okay, the Orianna did have some nice shockwaves, but the pulverizers were just all too good. Maybe we're expecting it after the 5-man pulverizer that he was able to pull off against Griffin. 3-0-2 on the Orianna certainly looks good, though. He's not going to be sitting in his chair, as he's already left. He's like, nah, I'm going back home. That was all too easy.
He's high-fiving CoreJG right now. He's giving him a hug. He's like, yeah, you deserved it. Oh, wait, what?
Yep.
Well, Fly picks it up. Had a nice plays in the lane. We see why he loves this Orianna into Zoe. He was the first to do it. He's now 3-0 on this particular matchup. Cool, calm, and collected was he on this turret dive.
This was the nicest.
This was really nice. We didn't get a replay of this play. Look at the dancing shoes here. This man, not to be stopped, avoids so much damage. Temp tries to come along, and the nurse to the W, not as valuable this early in the game, so you thought he could register it. Ambition gives him the assistance.
It's one of those times where having the ball on you for the extra armor and match resist was actually relevant. Allowed him to survive as he picked it up for himself. This was nice from Temp, avoiding this engage, and this was the only dicey moment for Gen.G that Fly honestly solo redeemed for his team.
Juve just going for closest target, no reason to dive in as the on-hit cannon does fall down. Nice equalizer from Crazy. Definitely understand Rumble in a different game for this team, as that was the fadeaway shockwave.
Did you see how long the ball was just sitting there, lying in wait, begging for them to...
It was lulling them. Lulling them into that false sense of security.
Oh, you just think it might have been a beach ball, something that they wanted to play with. Not going to happen this time around. Gen.G, a clean 2-0, and that means we are going to have that MVP interview. So let's throw it over to Joel for some translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Joel. With your interview translation, we're going to talk with Gen.G Gold and obviously their MVPs to see how they felt about the win. Let's talk to Ambition and FlyShare.
That's the other Gen.G.
Well, let's look at now and see, what we have to see. Very nice win for you guys, and you guys felt maybe today's win was a more meaningful one because of the way you guys won. I think today was no different than the other days. But I think the few games, it was very smooth in the way that we won, so pretty satisfying on that one. And really just a wonderful thing for Fly. Let's see. Just another all win for that Orianna. I think if I had won In that last time I would have been better, but I can't be fully satisfied.
이런 게 뭐 향상심이다.
Just a little bit unending greed for always wanting to win. But Trundle does pick up you an MVP for Ambition, and now with Kindred, you know, you did very well with that champion as well. But how do you feel like Trundle is right now in the current meta?
되게 무난한 것 같고 그리고
Just a wonderful thing about the Trundle is that, you know, the pillar can definitely keep your opponents off guard, and
같이 좋아질 것 같아요.
that's just a synergy that we have with our champions. Did very well today. And for the in-game moments where we felt as if the ultimate was very well utilized by you, did you feel like it just came along together, or were you pre-planning those moments? We were already pretty ahead by the time you probably saw that highlight, so whenever you proc the ultimate, you know you're going to be on the advantage most of the time. The Trundle's eyes get very bloody, and we know that could mean very violent, very much a violent phase for the opponents. I'm sure, you know, Fly has witnessed that bloody eye for himself. You know, it's when we have to just go all in and really put on the aggression because we were already ahead. And just that ultimate just allows me to just go in pretty aggressively. And let's see why the opponents had to be so pressured in for some of these highlights from the Trundle. That's basically where it all started. Literally, as soon as Trick was just on the back step trying to just get out, and the pillar, and just literally going in all hand. And maybe something that you want to mention about that. And with the Orianna, you do that shockwave to pull the back end. And you basically was trying to go for the Tom Kench actually, so the arrow was actually the intended one. Did you feel that you were gonna allow the arrow to miss? I was trying to use the ultimate so that the Tom Kench wouldn't eat the opponent. For set 2, what became so important was Zoe and Orianna still very confused for the fans as to which champion is better in that matchup, because it's now kind of a newly introduced matchup that we haven't found a clear winner towards, but today seemed to be Orianna. But what do you compare the two champions as? I think the better player on the day just can make the champion look really good. I think there's no clear winner in terms of just comparing the two champions. And with the summoner spells, obviously, should have an effect. With the team fight, obviously, where the two champions can very much contribute. Fly is having a lot of thoughts in his head for a very simple question. Who do you like better? I like both. So you can't. I think the one that has the better condition on the day, it's all the players' responsibility to make a champion look good. So let's look at some of the highlights and see if really it is Zoe and Orianna being equal in terms of quality, because talked about Fly, this is where he talks about him having the right condition to make these right sort of plays, and I was actually thinking that he was gonna stay alive. And did you say that you were gonna die? Yeah, I didn't know I was gonna survive on that one. And maybe Ambition thought that he was gonna stay alive. I actually thought that he was gonna live, so. And with the opponents, the skill really, once you just survive through the first phase of skills, you know you're gonna basically staying alive for a couple more seconds, which I can come back to help him stay alive. I'm sure it was a very miraculous play that you did pull off. What was the thing that you concentrated on as you were trying to survive to the end? Yeah, I was trying to just stay on surviving. Which skill? Which champion did you try to survive with? I mean, when the Gragas ultimate did come in, I was trying to make sure I don't go away, but I did get hit by all the skills from Zoe. And with Zoe's getting hit by the sleep, and with that became just a have to move around to dodge all the skill shots right after that. And I was trying to save my shockwave till a bit later, and I tried to avoid it right after that. And that's how we won. It's a little bit difficult to explain in words, but Ambition, you understood, right? Seems like everybody understood. I think it would be easy for everyone to understand. So the conclusion is that he saved his skills for the right moments, for a later time. And what did you say after you got the kill?
뭐 잡을까 고민하다가
I was trying to see which champion I was trying to kill, so I decided to kill Zoe.
잡을 수도 있었을 것 같은데.
I think I could have killed other champions as well, but
그냥 좀 잘 풀리는 날이었던 것
it
같아요.
really was a good game for all of us and a good day, and that felt right on our hands in terms of how the champions really interacted with us. Do you feel like today really was the day? You're talking about being so good with everything you do.
컨디션에 따라 이제
It's all about the condition and
달라지니까
basically how you feel on the day. Feels that plays a big part in contributing to the win. Obviously, with Ambition getting closer to the World Championship, now it feels like the meta slowly is kind of going back to the old ways, and which means it's going to fit well with your old-fashioned ways as well. I think many people will feel that way, but the more and more stability we find in the meta, it becomes more of a kind of expected in terms of results and which team wins and which team doesn't. I think last year kind of showed us that it was exactly like that, so we might just get a replication of what we're gonna get from this year as well. Well, for that, regardless if it was the meta itself or whether the players condition themselves, they are now, you guys are now in second and now very top in the rankings in terms of contesting. Obviously, the first place right now. Fly, what do you want to say about the remaining games ahead?
남은 경기 일단
For the rest of the games, we want to win.
간단하게 말해주면
I want to just try to keep it simple.
저희
We'll keep it
이기도록
very much a big effort and try to get as many wins as we can. And really hot weather outside, and we talked about the war. It's going to be there as well. Ambition, you want to say something very refreshing and cool. It's hot, so keep your health intact and try to eat some healthy food, and we'll try to do our best as well. So very toned down voice as always with Ambition and Fly for different reasons, but for the right reasons they have all together is that they are on a winning form and looking like to continue. It's going to be Gen.G looking to still be a dominant team. After we wrapped up this interview, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Joel. Great to hear from Fly and Ambition on their thoughts on the matchup and just in general, because honestly, this one was pretty elementary for the Gen.G squad. A 2-0, pretty quick fashion. It means we've got about an hour break until we come back for a FLICKR versus SKT, a match that you certainly won't want to miss, because SKT feeling like favorites.
Let's talk about what this means right now, though. Gen.G will jump up because of their head-to-head against Kingzone to second place. Now, they don't control their fate completely. KT Rolster, with any victory, goes above Griffin in game score, and they own the head-to-head 2-0, so 2-1 or a 2-0 is enough for KT. All Gen.G can do is win all their remaining games and hope for other results to go their way. They're definitely not driving to first spot just yet, but they're absolutely on the way. Good performance from them. BBQ hapless at the bottom of the table, and I agree, Atlas. It's a spicy one.
Yeah.
SK Telecom T1, their roster is something people will scrutinize. FLICKR Freaks, they've been out of form, and thus SKT probably are deserving favorites. But we know FLICKR were the runners-up in spring season. They can turn it around. They have a lot of good, isolated reasons that they can find good performance out of players that have been flagging recently and turn it into success. But getting that success against SKT in an hour's time, there's no guarantees, and that's why SKT, to me, come in 65-35 favorites, maybe 60-40, but it could definitely be a FLICKR turning it around. For me, I need to see a FLICKR win game 1. Otherwise, an SKT 2-0 is very possible.
It certainly could, but it is going to be in quite some time, guys. So it will be about that hour mark, and then we're going to see Keen versus Tal, and we'll see whether it's going to be Keen finally living up to his power. But guys, longish break, and we'll be back for a FLICKR versus SKT right up.
But you're the criminal. No implication, you're unpredictable. Time to lose control. System, but you're invisible. You're on a mission to take the city on. Time to lose control. See you later on in the fast lane, yeah. I knew you were a bad man. Oh, I knew it. Don't try to hide it, you're a bad man. A bad man. A bad man.
Coming up next, SK Telecom T1. Afrika Freaks. 2018 League of Legends Champions Korea Summer Split.